Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I am Collecting Madness. There's always madness in love, and we love collecting. All right, guys, as I said, welcome back. Let's start diving into 1/6 scale figures again for the new year, back on the channel. And what better way to bring it back than with an artisan figure? And this time it being Jack Sparrow from Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Man Tell No Tales. And I have to say, I'm super excited for this one. As always, if you guys are new here to the channel and you don't know who I am, please consider dropping a like below. Those who are returning, I think the like button is broken, so go ahead and make sure it still works. Also, don't forget to subscribe as it does help the channel, and I do have a goal of 5,000 subs. But enough about all that, let's dive in. All right, so here we have the box for DX39 Jack Sparrow. This is my first Jack Sparrow in the collection, and I'm super excited. Uh, Really, I haven't opened a 6 scale figure in a long time because of the move and stuff. But as you can see, this box is kind of reflective and all this gold stuff. You got Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Men Tell No Tales, Jack Sparrow, 1/6 scale collectible DX39, and then it's really reflective on Artisan Edition Deluxe version. So that means that this guy fully comes with stunning hair craftsmanship. So all those dreadlocks are rooted. And then you got the DX brand, Hot Toys brand. On the bottom, title of the movie again. Side, Jack Sparrow, all the labeling again. The top, title, Jack Sparrow again. So it's all kind of the same on this part of the box, and this annoying battery sticker because there's a lantern in there with some button cell batteries, I believe. Now, what's weird about this is it didn't have a sleeve. It is just a straight like insert in the box. And as I try to get this here, you can see you got some images of the figure himself with the hat, without the hat. This one does come with the fabric bandana, and you will see that later in the video. Another DX Artisan Edition line, symbol, Pirates of the Caribbean, Jack Sparrow. And if you would like to read this, feel free to go ahead and do so. Lifting up the top part, you are greeted with the figure and the head sculpt. And because it's artisan and rooted, you get this special case. We'll take a look at that. But you can see DX Artisan Edition Jack Sparrow features wool hair implantation, and then just telling you to read the guide. Genuine leather belts and boots on this guy. Also, really excited to take a look at that and see what that feels like. Now what I'm gonna do is get all of this stuff out of here, and then we will take a look at everything he comes with, go over it, give my thoughts as we go, and then take a look at the figure. I just want to say, as I'm unpacking this figure and seeing what this body feels like, I've waited a long time for Jack Sparrow, and I didn't want to collect backwards. I'm kind of glad I didn't, and I just keep getting really lucky with wanting a figure, and then they end up reissuing it. So I'm super stoked I didn't have to buy backwards or buy multiple of this guy. This is different. They got just this plastic sleeve around, but the body feels awesome and the materials feel awesome so far. I like the material on these boots. Again, we'll talk more about that as we dive further into the video. Yeah, every time I seem to do a figure, this accessory portion gets a whole lot bigger based on these DXs. So we're going to start with the biggest thing first, get it out the way, and that being this incredibly gorgeous base. You can see Pirates of the Caribbean, Jack Sparrow, Dead Men Tell No Tale, and that metallic and black nameplate there, very reflective. I do love the way the ocean looks and the white foam of the sea going up there, like it's crashing up against this shipwreck. Very grimy and like mossy. chipped wood, broken wood, some painted rope here. This thing just looks incredible. And blended in is the slots for the ship wheel. Going over around the back, more of that damaged sea moss and damaged wood. This just looks absolutely gorgeous. Speaking of the wheel, the ship wheel, it is just as filthy as you would expect. Jack Sparrow's filthy. Pirates in general are filthy, but this you can see looks like it has a whole bunch of dirt, oil, grime, moss, you name it. Like it's moldy, I'm assuming from the sea, like all the water that gets on it, and it does spin, and it does a very, very good job of looking wooden. The rope on the back here is an actual rope, and it is tied in a nice little knot there at the bottom. And like I said, these bottom portions here do slot into the base, and you will see that as I pose this figure up. Starting off from the left here, we do have his sword with the sheath here. It is not die cast. I never had the other releases, but as you can see, it is very reflective and has some nice oils, pitting, scratches, very weathered, looks very, very metallic, and I am actually pretty happy with this. Going alongside the sword, you do have this smaller knife, a baby knife, as some would say, and it does the same thing, if not more, than the larger knife. And I think this looks even more realistic than the larger knife. It has the same weathering, and the handle and grip is just as weathered. Looks very nice as well. The lantern that it comes with is an interesting piece. The battery style on how you slot them in is different from what I'm used to. It does power on when those button cells are on, and it does light up a nice tree, even with all this light going on around the room. It does not flicker. I kind of wish it did, so it would give that little flame effect. But when you have this on, you can really see the grime and dirt and just all the filth that is within this. When it's out, it looks very smoky, just like glass would if it were to have fire on the inside due to lack of oxygen. And I think it just looks awesome. Handle up here does a good job of looking wooden. All the grime and dirt up top and the scratches and pitting do a wonderful job of looking like it's real metal. So I'm very, very pleased with this accessory. Speaking of those button cells, I've never seen this on a Hot Toys release. I'm assuming these tweezers are for the button cell batteries for those with larger fingers, but also to get into the nooks and crannies of those small accessories for you to be able to put onto his belt. It's probably to style the hair, to pull the fabric from certain places because there is a lot of fabric on this guy. And I thought it was really funny that you can actually see the Hot Toys branding on these plastic tweezers. The same can go for the screwdriver. They've never included this. You can use this for the display stand, and the button cells as well also has Hot Toys branding. You do then, of course, get the per system tool, which allows you to move the eyeballs behind each sculpt. Speaking of those small accessories that I was mentioning, you could install with the tweezers if you so wanted to. You get a lot of these small accessories that do attach to his belt. It looks like a golden tooth here. You get a chicken foot that looks very old and very dead. It's actually kind of creepy. This nasty shrunken head that has real hair. This is probably the creepiest accessory that comes in this box. And then you get a lock of hair, which is also real wool, probably the same material that's on Jack himself. Going back over some weapons, you get his flintlock pistols, and there are two different kinds, a larger one and a smaller one. They do not have any action on them, so you can't pull this lever back. The trigger does not move at all. There is a hole in the top of it there. You got some oils, pitting, scratches, some nice weathering to make it look like it's real metallic. You can also see the reflection on the paint there. looks awesome, and the same can be said for the wood on both of these, that it does a good job of that. There's not really any wood grain on there, but the paintwork alone kind of gives that convincing effect. You got some nice detail on the handle here, a little skull that looks like on the bottom, and just more of that weathering and pitting going on this flintlock pistol. When you get your set of hands, you do get some extra wrist pegs in case you break them, and then along with the wrist pegs, you have to have hands. You get some very Jack Sparrow-esque hands, meaning he's like always looking like he's tumbling, drunk, lazy, and always these cool gesture hands, and each one does different things. One would be for grabbing the flintlock, pointing, grabbing the pistols. You got some open palm hands for the compass, um, flintlock hand here. And I will say, if you look at each of these, they all have the fabric on them, and they are nicely individually painted, got real skin texture looking going on there. The nails you can make out. And his tattoos, funny enough, he had to get it re-tattooed on the opposite hand. You can see his name is misspelled, KC, and then it is spelled the correct way on the opposite hand that he got it re-tattooed. Rings on each of them. They are nicely sculpted, nicely painted. You can make out all the detail in those rings. What I don't like, however, and you will notice when I go back to the bandana hands, there is supposed to be a strap in between the fingers. Here's another pointing one and open palm one. Like I was saying, if you look in between these fingers here, you can see it looks like there were supposed to be straps there, painted. On other releases, I've seen a buddy of mine pointed it out. That is supposed to be painted black there, and I'm so shocked that it wasn't, and that Hot Toys skipped that. I don't know what they'll do for later issues, but right now that's kind of a problem. Another s called problem that people have is how large this hat is. However, to me, since I've never had a Jack Sparrow, this doesn't bother me. And when we get it on the figure, I will let you know if it bothers me then. But for right now, I think it looks awesome. This is unfortunately pleather. It absolutely reeks of pleather too. Like the smell is so strong. The stitch work is nice. The weathering, all the dirt and grime on this is also dirty. But of course, it's a pirate's hat at the end of the day. Can't be a pirate without your hat. Then we have Jack Sparrow's famous compass. Now, this accessory is very scary because, again, I have larger hands, but it does peg in, and you can open it and actually see all the detail within the compass. Really neat accessory. You then have his scope here. It isn't a clear kind of lens, so you can't see through it. It's just got some glossy paint going on either end. It doesn't retract either, but there is some nice oils and dirt going on in there to make that convincing effect that it would open and close. I'm a little sad that it's not more translucent or foggy because I know they've done that with other things in the past, but it's still a cool accessory nonetheless. Now down to my last two favorite accessories here. I will have to say, having the black pearl in a bottle in 1/6 scale form is cool enough in itself. What's even cooler is that Hot Toys was able to do this. And this time, because on previous releases it was clear, this time it's got a lot more dirt, grime, just making the glass look absolutely realistic. It's shiny. A real glass bottle in real time would do this fogging effect with age. So I'm kind of happy Hot Toys did this, and you can still see the black pearl in there. You can also see the little waves and water going on in there. Some nice silver detail making this look like fabric. And yeah, this glass bottle just looks awesome. Next, we have straight out of Davy Jones' locker, his treasure. I'm just kidding. But this is
Treasure! Wow!
and it is the golden blooms. We got some nice gold coins here, very reflective. There's different colors in there, like if there was rust or blood or some type of oils in there. It looks incredible. And I like the fact that it opens and closes, so you can kind of have it closed to be mysterious or open to show all your riches and make those other pirates jealous. let's talk about this casing right here. I'm going to go ahead and open this up. It still has the plastic on it, so we're going to get that off real quick. Okay, so we're going to take this off. Take this plastic off. Wow, guys. You can see the mirror down there at the bottom. Now, it does say to remove this from this instead of lifting the whole thing off. It wants you to take the hair off first, so you're not really damaging anything. So we're going to take the hair off, and then we're going to lift by the faceplate off the sculpt here, or get the sculpt off. There we go. And I wouldn't grab it by the chin, as you don't want to break these off, so I would grab it by the side. But it looks like I got some paint marks there. It's a bit unfortunate, so I might have to contact Hot Toys about that. Unless the bandana covers, then it won't bother me, but I kind of feel with how expensive this set is, it will bother me. But guys, that is just Johnny Depp through and through. Holy crap. And just looking at the other smirking sculpt, you can see Johnny Depp is still in there. Wow, just incredible. The mark on the face, the detail in the stash and the beard, the little hanging hairs there, eyebrows speckling on the skin. Incredible. Both of these have purrs on the back, as you can see, and a magnetic attachment to the rest of the sculpt. All right, let's get this on the body and talk about it some more. Dude, I am absolutely mind blown with how realistic this looks once you get the sculpt on the body. I mean, the craftsmanship and the dreads on this thing, incredible. Now, this is where they told me in the instructions to split the hair about this point. I may push this one back a bit, as it does seem to have a gap here. Um, but because these are like rooted, you can absolutely just pull out and do whatever you want with them. So I like that you can do that. And as you can see, there's just a lot of product and material on this. So these aren't going anywhere. I mean, they even have like actual rubber band and straps on here, little plastic pieces and sewing wrap. Like, this is a little tiny string, all these little jewels hanging off of it, and pins, accessories, all on these tiny braids. I mean, this is amazing. The fabric bandana, like, man, I know some people like the sculpted, but as far as realism goes, this is just fan freaking tastic, and I can't say that enough. Even the little hanging jewels here and the beads all on it, like everything you touch is just actually wool hair, and that is just crazy attention to detail. The fabric bandana moves in the back, so again, I'm assuming if you have the plastic one, you won't get that effect. Like, wow, just mind blowing. And the weathering in it, it's like kind of grimy, kind of dirty. Man, I'm just blown away by this. I'm super happy. Well done, Hot Toys, man. This is awesome. And harping back on that little spot I had on the sculpt, you can see once it's on, it does hide it. However, because I know it's under there, I think I'm just going to get a replacement just to be safe. But if I wasn't, I mean, I'm still happy with this because it's hidden. So if Sideshow can't do anything for me, then I will obviously accept it. So we'll see what they say. So I just wanted to say, after the video, I got Jack in the cabinet and I had those black spots. Shout out to Hot Toys Hotline, my buddy Connor, aka the Hot Toys Doctor. He told me to just take some heat or like warm water, hot water, and just keep working at it, and it came off. So happy about that, and I don't have to report it to Sideshow. And then, of course, the hands that come pre-installed on the figure are kind of more closed fist almost. I mean, they're not entirely closed, but yeah. Anyways, enough about all that. Let's get over some of the clothing. You got a wire going on in the bottom and some weathering and dirt going on here as you get towards the bottom of the coat. More of that going on the boots. They are actually leather and they feel incredible. A nice material. All the fabric detail, the printing and the stitch work, the tailoring, guys, there's not a bad thing I can say about this figure so far. All the little buttons here are actual buttons sewn in, the stitch work on the cuffs here with those buttons. The jacket is removable. The bottom belts here are real leather. Unfortunately, this belt is pleather along with this one, and it would be hard to get that snake skin texture had it been real leather. But nonetheless, at least we got two of them. Am I right? We got some fabric here. More fabric will droop over nicely, and it can be done via magnet, very strong. And I think maybe that's why they decided to do leather, because it attaches to it and it would wear very easily if it was pleather. So we will see how that holds up with it being actual leather. Going over some articulation here, the arms do go up and down, elbows bend at a complete double elbow, so more than 90. Bicep swivels, wrist peg seems like it goes all the way around, up and down, side to side. You can do whatever. Legs go out. He can fully sit because it's all fabric. They do rise up there, so you just want to pull them down. Seems double bend in the knee on ratchets. I heard the last one didn't do that, and there you can get more of that. But you would just have to, obviously, when pose, fix that, tucking it back in to do whatever. And then this is a very articulative ankle peg because that right there looks like he just broke his ankle. And if that's not a drunken walk, I don't know what is. And it can go the other way as well as up and down. Also, swivel at the thigh there. There is some crunch. You can go side to side and twist. So, very articulative. So, here I have all the accessories on Jack. This is how it said in the instructions to do it. I also did look at movie stills and like other product shots from Hot Toys, and it kind of goes back and forth with whether this can be tucked under the cloth or not. And simply, if I wanted to do that, they could just tuck under or whatever. But a lot of shots have it out as well, so I guess it really doesn't matter. I have his compass back here. I don't know whether he wants to hide him or not. The chicken foot and other tooth go on this side. Those tweezers did come in handy, so you do want to use those. And then again, the hair I just kind of messed with going back and forth here, splitting it over the shoulders. And I kind of like the way this looks actually quite a bit. I'm pretty happy with it. And then the final piece that we have to do and see is the hat. I see how it pushes up a little bit, but I'm sure with enough futzing, you can get it to sit down on there. Actually, that might be a problem. It just wants to pop off. I probably won't have the hat there anyway, but I'm sure if you mess with it long enough, it will stay on. It doesn't bother me with how big it is either, but that is kind of an issue here is getting that to say. I'm sure enough futzing you can get it to stay. I also don't want to mess with any of the wool hair anyway, so I'll probably always have them just like this. All right, guys, just wrapping up on DX Artisan Jack Sparrow. And right off the bat, this is definitely one of my favorite all time hot toys just because of all the incredible detail. I'm absolutely blown away. The only thing I could nitpick in this set is the hat. And I'm not talking about the size. I'm talking about placing it on his head. In the back of his hair, it's so thick, and the hat just keeps wanting to ride up, and it will not sit still. It just won't go on properly. I definitely am not using it anyway, but it does kind of suck not to have the option. I may play with it later on in the future. Other than that, I love the tailoring, I love the posability, I love the swap out faceplates, I love all the hand gestures, really making this figure come to life. And those wool locked dreadlocks look incredible and just add that much more detail to the figure. I love the fabric bandana, the genuine leather boots, and the real leather that is on a couple of the belts, not on all of them, but hey, at least they were trying. The paint applications are fantastic. The tailoring is fantastic. Oh, and that base. I just can't get over that base. It is simply gorgeous. Again, the paint apps are incredible. Overall, I'd give this figure a solid 9 out of 10. If you enjoyed this video and you've made it this far, I appreciate you and thank you for watching. Again, hit that like button if you enjoyed the video and feel free to subscribe as I do have that goal of 5,000. Thank you all so much for joining me on this collecting journey, and I'll see you guys in the next video.